So we have learned that in the last class, we have learned that there are three parts or three parallel parts of the northern mountains or the Himalayas. Three mountain ranges are there. And the names of the three ranges are the Greater Himalayas, which are also called Himadri, the Lower Himalayas or Middle Himalayas, which is also known as Himachal, and the Outer Himalayas. So last day we have learned about the Greater Himalayas or Himadri and the Lower Himalayas or Himachal. Today we will learn about the Outer Himalayas. So we have seen that in the Greater Himalayas, the mountains, the height of the mountains that was quite high, like it was 8,848, 8,611. So the mountains were very high. But when we come to Lower Himalayas, the height of the mountains that ranged between 2,000 to 500 meters. Now in Outer Himalayas, the Outer Himalayas is also known as Shivalik. What Noraz Ali was asking. So Shivalik is nothing but another name of Outer Himalayas. As we can call the Lower Himalayas as Himachal, the Greater Himalayas as Himadri, just like that, the Outer Himalayas is also called the Shivalik. This is the southernmost and the lowest range of Himalayas. The average height of Shivalik ranges vary between 600 to 1,500. So this range was 8,000 to 6,000 to 8,000. 8,000 in case of the Greater Himalayas.
The Greater Himalayas.
Rajpreet, you mute your device. So this range varied from 6,000 to 800 meters in case of Greater Himalayas or Himadri. And the range was from 2,000 to 5,000 meters in case of Lower Himalayas. Now, in case of Outer Himalaya or Shivalik, the range is very low. That is from 600 to 1,500 meters. So you can see this is the lowest range of Himalaya. This is the southernmost range of Himalaya, and this is the lowest range of Himalaya. These are some broad valleys. There are some broad valleys in between the Shivalik and the Himachal ranges. So first, to the northern part of the, as I have told you before, so these are the four main sides. So the upper part will be considered as the northernmost part, and the lower part will be considered as the southernmost part. So first, to the northernmost part of Himalayan ranges, we can see the Himadri. Then in between, we can see the Himachal. Then to the southernmost part, we can see the Shivalik. So here you can see, students, that these ranges are parallel to each other. I have told you before that what are parallel lines. You can see this is one parallel line. This is another parallel line. This is another parallel line. So this is how you can see how the ranges of Himalayas, they are parallel to each other. In the Himadri part, we can see the mountains are very high, and the height ranges between 6,000 to 8,000 meters. In the Himachal range, the mountains are not that much high as in the Himadri range, and the range of the height is between 2,000 to 5,000 meters. And in the Shivalik range, the range is very low. That is from 600 to 1500 meter. Okay. So here in the Shivalik range, we can see some valleys. The slopes of the Shivalik are covered with thick forests. So we can see thick forests in the Shivalik range. We couldn't see any type of vegetation like vegetation means the growth of plants or habitat of animals in the Himadri or greater Himalayas. But in the Himachal, we have seen dense forests. And just like Himachal, in Shivalik range also, we can see dense forests. And the soil is also very fertile. The people living in this region, they practice terrace farming. I have already told you what is terrace farming in the previous class. They grow fruits in their orchards, and wheat, rice, sugarcane, these crops are grown here very well. So you can mark these lines. From these lines, very short type questions can come. So here in the coming FA1 exam also, short type questions will come. For that, you will have to read the whole book, the content of the book very carefully. So what is the name of, another name of the outer Himalayas? What is the average height of the Shivalik ranges? So these types of short type questions can come. The foothills of Shivalik ranges is also called the Tarai region. So these are some important sentences from which questions may arise. What are the crops that are grown in the Shivalik range? Wheat, rice, and sugarcane. Wheat, rice, and sugarcane. Many Tarai regions have been declared as the protected wildlife sanctuaries, like Corbett National Park. So write the names of some wildlife sanctuaries that we can find in outer Himalayas. So what are the names of the wildlife sanctuaries? Corbett National Park. Just this line. This is also a very important line. The Corbett National Park, Rajaji National Park and Tiger Reserve. Then the Kaziranga National Park. Okay, these are the names of some protected wildlife sanctuaries. Now, protected wildlife sanctuary means what? Wildlife means the life of animals, not only the animals, the plants also, who live in forests. Okay, the animals and the plants who live in forests, we can see that people are killing the animals for their own use, and they are cutting down the trees of the forests also, which is also known as deforestation. So for protecting those animals and plants, and as people are continuously doing this, they are cutting down the trees and they are killing the wild animals like tigers and lions and elephants. So what happens after some time? Those species of the animals and plants, they go extinct. That means we will not find them again. We will not get them again in this world. So to protect them, so that the bad people, the hunters, they cannot kill them. So we need to protect them. How we will protect them? We will make sanctuaries. Sanctuary means the open place, the open forest where the animals, wild animals, they are not, their place is not limited. They are open. They are free to walk over there. They are free to run. They are free to catch their prey. Okay, they generally live their normal life there, but still no one is allowed to allowed for hunting, or no one is allowed to kill the animals there. So people are there who protect the animals so that nobody can harm them, nobody can kill them. So this is wildlife sanctuaries are the protected areas. That means the life of the wildlife animals is completely protected there. No one will harm them. No one is allowed to harm them. And there they cannot also cut down the trees of the forest. So these are the wildlife sanctuaries. Okay. So this is also a very, very important line here. Now, what is the importance of the Himalayas? In many ways, the Himalayas have been beneficial for us. So what we get from the Himalayas? Okay, this part we will read tomorrow. For today, you mark up to this. So up to this, what we have learned, everyone look at the screen. Everyone look at the screen. What we have learned the location of Himalayas and the mountain ranges like the greater Himalayas, and we have learned about the lower Himalayas and the outer Himalayas or Shivalik range. Up to this, we have completed reading. Now, students, don't forget to read these parts, because on each Friday, as I have told you, each Friday, I will not teach you anything new. I will just ask you questions from the previous parts that we have learned from Monday to Thursday. From Monday to Thursday, whatever we have learned, I will ask you some questions from those parts on Friday. And I will ask questions to everyone. So don't forget to read this part regularly. Tomorrow we will start from the importance of the Himalayas.